This video will demonstrate how to create a size A drawing format for any part or assembly generated in Creo. So we're going to create the borders, create the title box, enter the text, format the text, and then save the format. And then for step 2, and this will be in a different video, we're going to actually add the drawing for the casing part, which is going to be the shaft drawing. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's set up our working directory, and I'm going to set it up in my documents folder, but you can set it up in your external drive. And we are going to create a new format, and I'm going to title this format Format A. And I'm going to pick landscape, and I want a standard size A sheet, which is my 8.5 by 11. I'm going to select OK. Now that we have our sheet, we're going to go to the Sketch tab, and we're going to select Sketcher Preferences. So once we have the Sketch Preferences dialog box open, make sure that you select Chain Sketching and then click Close. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate the outside of our border for our drawing by clicking the line tool. Once we have the dialog box open, we want to click on Absolute Coordinates. This will allow us to specifically go to a particular coordinate in our plane. So to create the first point of a line, go ahead and type 0.5 for X, and then 0.5 for Y, and then click OK or hit Enter. Notice how my line tool has snapped down here in the bottom. We're going to do the same thing. Go to Absolute Coordinates, then type 10.5 and 0.5 for Y, and then click Enter. Notice how my first line was drawn. We're going to continue from that point, and now we're going to click 10.5, and then we're going to go to 8 for Y, and then click OK. My second line has been drawn, and then go 0.5 to 8, and that's my third line, and 0.5 to 0.5 so that we can close it off. Close the Absolute Coordinate dialog box, and then you can hit the scroll button or hit Escape to exit the line tool. Notice how we have the border completed. Remember that you can always select a line and delete it if you've made a mistake. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create this bottom corner box. So we're going to go back to my line tool. Once the Snapping Preferences is open, I'm going to go back to Absolute Coordinates, and we're going to enter 10.5 for X and 2.25 for Y. And notice how I've already snapped over here on the right hand side, the bottom right hand side. So we're going to continue our Absolute Coordinates, go to 5 for X and 2.25 for Y. Then click OK. Absolute Coordinates again, and then go to 5 for X and 0.5 for Y. Now we have that text box completed. Go ahead and click your scroll key or Escape. We want to select everything that we've sketched. So I'm going to draw a box around everything. Notice how now that I've selected it, everything's in green. And we're going to go to the Sketch tab and go to Format. Click on the Line Style button. Once you open up your dialog box, you're going to go to your Attributes, and under Width, you're going to type 0.03, and we're going to hit Apply and then Close. Notice how that's thickened your line. Now what we want to do is we want to create the vertical line on the corner box to have a place for all the tolerances. So once again, go back to your line tool. Once your dialog box is open, go to Absolute Coordinates, and we're going to type 7 then 0.5, absolute coordinates again, 7, 2.25, and then click the scroll button or the escape key so that we can exit out of the line. Now we want to create the horizontal lines for the text. So we're going to go back to your line tool, go to absolute coordinates one more time, and then we're going to type 10.5 for X and 0.9 for Y. Once again, to your line tool and go to 7 and 0.9. And there's your first line drawn. I'm going to hit escape and we're going to generate one more line. So go to line, go to absolute coordinates and type in 7 and 1.3 for Y. One more time, 10.5 for X and 1.3 for Y. And there's our second line. We're going to close this out and hit the scroll key one more time. And then we're going to do our third line. So go to the line tool again, go to absolute coordinates, and go to 7 and 1.7 for your Y coordinates, and then 10.5 for X and 1.7 for your Y. Click OK, and we are done with our corner box. So go ahead and click X to cancel and then hit the scroll key to exit. To create text in the dialog box, we want to go to the Annotate tab in the top, and we want to select the Note button. And what we want to do is we want to place this green box wherever we want to type something. So you can go to the second row and then click Created by whatever your name is. In my case, I'm going to type in Miss Lay. I'm going to go to the third row and create one more note. So you can exit by hitting the scroll key and then go back to your Note tab. And then I'm going to type customer name and or customer, and then whatever your customer name is. Once again, hit the scroll key to exit and then select the Note tab one more time. And then I'm going to type my scale. And I'm going to leave it blank because I don't know what my scale is. In the side box, I'm going to generate a new note. The last note, go ahead and type in tolerances. Press enter. And we're going to start with our tens place. And so to create the plus or minus sign, you can find that in the symbol palette in the Format tab up here. That'll give you my plus and minus 0.1. Then we'll have x.xx plus or minus 0.01 for the hundredths place. And then x.xxx plus or minus 0.001 for the thousandths place. Now to format some of this stuff, I'm going to select this text box, and under Format tab under Style, I'm going to select my center, and that'll center my tolerances. So once I finish my tolerances text, I'm going to edit my text by clicking on the text itself, going to the Format tab, and then opening my Style dialog box. So you can do that here in the corner, or you can go to the drop-down menu, and that'll open my text style dialog box. And what I want to do is I want to note dimension, go to the note dimension section, and under horizontal I'm going to select center. And so that is going to center my tolerances text. I'm going to hit apply, or in this case I'm just going to hit OK, and that'll exit my dialog box. Now what I can do is I can move the text around to make sure that it's within the box that I need it. And I'm going to do the same thing. Notice how this customer name right here in the corner is offset, so I'm going to move that over to the center. That way it fits perfectly under. And then I'm going to center my scale just a tad bit. The last thing that I'm going to do is edit the text that I have here. So I'm going to select each of these by pressing the Control key. And now I've selected all three of the text lines that I have. So I'm going to go to the Annotate tab, and I'm going to select the Text Style button. And under Character, instead of clicking Default, I'm going to deselect Default. And then I'm going to go down from the drop-down menu and go to CG times bold. I'm going to click OK, and notice how my text has changed. And then I'm going to click File and Save. Click OK. After you're saved, go ahead and hit File Close. After you're closed it, what we need to know is that Creo keeps a working history of all the drawings in parts while it's open. So each time you open Creo, it creates what is called a session history. In order to erase the history of the drawing or part from a session, go ahead and click File, go to Manage Sessions, and erase all objects not displayed. Notice how the one that is available is the format A-frame, which is the one that we just created. I'm going to erase these objects. And I'm not deleting the file itself, I'm just deleting whatever working history Creo has generated. So now go on to the next video to create the shaft drawing.